Hey, we're live. It's funny. Before we got on, I'm like messing with my hair, messing with his buttons. We're all like, this and that. Like, ah. And the reality is, does it really matter? Does it really matter? Probably not, right? Right?
I don't think so.
Well, give us a second. See if we can rustle up some people. I did not.
Important question. I always have my second button unbuttoned? But with this shirt, it looked like something out of a dirty movie. Should I button it?
You see the metal. You need like a "Hey baby, what's your sign?" Is that what you said back in the 70s? Hey baby, what's your sign?
Right.
Was that your pickup line?
No, I actually said hi. I just said hi, and
you actually said hi. Oh, what? Come on, You're a nice guy. No, you're not.
No, I just said hi, and they said hi back. I know I had it made.
Hey, did you share the video? Did you go to my wall and share it to your wall?
No, I will go to your wall and share it to my wall.
Do that. I have a really big topic tonight. Some stuff I want to discuss. If you want to say hi, definitely feel free. If you want to share this, definitely feel free. This is going out to my YouTube and it's going out to my Facebook. And later on, we'll clip it and we'll cut it off. We edit up the video. But basically, a lot of stuff been going on lately. And if any of you don't know me, my name's Diane Hockman, which you know because you're on my wall. You know who I am. This is my friend Ray Williams. And Ray's a hypnotist and, really good at mind stuff and mind, tap dancing in your mind to help you achieve things and all kinds of other stuff. And the name of the live is why they hate us and why sometimes we hate ourselves. And it's a culmination. This has been on my heart for a little bit. Keeps popping back up between I'm a YouTube girl. I like YouTube. I don't even watch regular TV very often anymore. I watch YouTube. I watch everything under the sun, videos about all these different things that I'm interested in. But because I'm in the home business space, I get fed a lot of videos on my homepage about home business. And the number of videos right now bashing network marketing and home business and affiliate marketing, direct sales is more than I've ever seen. But Ray, here's what's really interesting. A lot of them are coming from inside the industry. People who were in the industry who are now making videos talking about how horrible the industry
I just
is.
learned something. I sincerely did not know that inside the industry. Yeah. I can see people who got pitched outside the industry.
No, this is people. There's a lot of people that just hate the industry. Okay. And they're always making videos about we're bad, we're evil, we're this, we're that. But now there's an influx of videos of people from inside the industry who have left the industry telling horror stories about the industry. So it's rampant. I also happen to watch on Netflix. There's a new, I told you I love documentaries, right? We were talking about Netflix. And I said there's all these different interesting documentaries. And there's a new documentary out about different kind of naturopathic health things and stuff. And so the one I watched was about essential oils. A lot of my friends sell essential oils. I'm interested in, information. So I assume this is going to be information about essential oils and either talking, ancient and people have used these for thousands of years, but this person debunks it, but this person says it's this. Turned out to be a whole documentary bashing network marketing of all things, because a large percentage of the essential oils are sold by network marketing companies.
Right.
And they portrayed people super funky. Probably a year or two ago, what's the name of the guy that does that? He does a late night show. He's really funny. I can't think of his name, but he always does these monologues. John something, maybe. He's British, I believe. Well, anyway, he did a whole expose on network marketing, and it actually even portrayed some people I know in a very weird light. And a lot of times when we go through training, we're taught how to handle objections from people that are saying, is this a pyramid scheme? Is this this? Is this this? So the question is, why do they hate us? And then I want to get into why do we sometimes hate ourselves? I think that for a long time, we were in this space doing business offline. We were approaching someone wherever. I mean, you prospected back in the day. I prospected back in the day. And we were approaching someone individually. We'd meet in the mall, or we'd meet at wherever you'd meet. And you'd say, you look like a sharp person. Do you keep your income options open? That, that old famous line. That line's like that.
I've used it.
Yeah, you look like, you look in somebody's supermarket basket. You say, well, you look like you're health minded or using any nutritional supplements. Get into a conversation, and all of those lines individually, when people weren't hearing them in mass and didn't understand that you were literally saying that to 20 people a day, they felt like you were talking to them because it was so separated out. They worked, and in the 90s and before that, and even in the early 2000s, they worked. But then a time came where late night infomercials were full of, pitches and opportunity things, and books came out, multiple streams of income came out. And a big part of that was, a network marketing pitch in a way. And there were a lot of different ways that people got exposed, some subtly, some very straightforward. And over time, people have gotten to a point where they're just tired. They're just tired. I got literally, I'd have to look at my phone, at least 7 marketing calls today. I have been approached endlessly online. My messenger box is constantly full with people just randomly messaging me. And then the thing that was the weirdest for me this week was I got, and I'm sorry, and maybe this is disrespectful, but it has to be said, I got a message from somebody who's a well-known marketer of the past, probably still in some circles, and they've known me for years. And they sent me a copy and paste message demanding that I watch a video and let them know that I watched it. And then they sent me a follow-up message, basically saying, you need to watch this. You just let me know or I'll scratch you off my list. And that line used to be super cool back in the day. But you know what? It's 2020. And it's not anymore, because you don't get to scratch me off your list. I never wanted to be on your list in the first place. You didn't have permission to market to me, because that's what we do today. And you also had no regard or no respect for any prior knowledge of a relationship, even if distant, that we had or have, or whatever it may be, and or the fact that I'm an experienced marketer. I just got the same thing that everybody else got, because back in the day, that's what you did. The reason why they hate us, and this is the message that nobody wants to hear, but everybody needs to hear, the shift is happening. It's 2020, COVID-19, all of this stuff is going on. Guys, if you don't up your communication game, and if you don't start to hold people in your heart and think about what's going on with them and for them, and you don't start to get their permission to market to them, if you just enter into their private arenas, and I'll talk about that in a minute, without permission, it's going to get more and more brutal. It's going to get more and more brutal. And the reason why they hate us is because we're not paying respect. We're not respectful And when I say we, the industry in general, I mean, I'm part of the industry and I get treated without respect by experienced people. I also get treated with incredible respect and esteem from others, people who are good communicators and understand who they're talking to and care about who they're talking to. But the reason why they hate us is because we're not respecting them. People are hurting right now. American Airlines is laying off 17,500 people very shortly. Right here at home, one of the resorts I go to all the time is laying off thousands of people. They have no choice. They kept them as long as they could. Good people down there. They did all they could and they repositioned everybody as best they can. But they have no choice. They have to lay off thousands of people. And these are people that are used to having benefits and used to having good jobs and used to having a certain amount of security. And they're scared. And we're not treating them the way we should. We're not treating them the way we should. Now, the reason why I brought Ray tonight, and I don't know, nobody wants to watch the video maybe because nobody wants to hear this message and everybody wants it to stay like it was. Guys, it's not like it was. And by the way, I said this type of stuff 15 years ago. I was telling everybody the internet was changing and Web 2.0 was coming and all this stuff. And everybody went, no, it's not, no, it's not, no, it's not, no, it's not. And every single day, Ray, I can't tell you how many times a day I hear, if I had only listened, I wish I had done what you said. I wish I had paid attention to what you said was coming. I wish I had done that work then. I wish I had built that list. I wish I had made those videos. I had committed myself to that content. I wish I had heard the message. Well, I'm back again. And by the way, the message at the time, you didn't know me there, was not popular. The message is I was getting threats from people in the industry that were telling me I was destroying the industry and how dare I.
Wow.
Marketing professionals. I was getting voicemails and messages and emails telling me how horrible I was because I was shining the light on what was coming. Shining the light on what was impending, shining the light on where we were going. Nobody wanted to hear it because people didn't want change. People wanted to stay the way it was. Well, now we have people that were top earners in the industry rampantly attacking us. Why? Because they hate themselves.
Mm-hmm.
I have had conversations over the last month with I don't know how many people that have been at the top of the heap saying how much they dislike the behaviors that have been endorsed and have been encouraged and how they have to go and smile and tell everybody to go out and disrespect people. I have heard over and over and over and over and over from people that they never want to do it again, although they always do because we love it. We say we won't. I'm not going to do that anymore. I'm not doing it anymore. I'm not doing it anymore. Boom, I'm back. But person after person after person has expressed extreme fatigue and self-dislike. I don't want to go as far as hatred, although I used it in the headline because it was sexy, right? They've expressed this because they know in their heart and their soul that there's a way to treat people and there's a way to not. And they know in their heart and soul that the industry is changing and has to change. And they know in their heart and soul that actually having products and services that go out to consumers that consumers want to buy is important. And they know that not jacking people and front loading people, which is illegal now, but it still goes on. There's always a way, right? There's always a way, right? Is messed up. And they know that it lined their pockets. And they know that it made them sick inside. So most quietly collapse into a couch in silence. And then there's a couple that decide to destroy everybody else, which is really interesting, right? Why does one person go silent and why does one person get malicious?
Well, there's a few
What's the
reasons.
difference?
Well, uh, the silent people basically, guesstimation, there's a few reasons, but primarily they were the ones who really didn't know which way to go all along. So they stayed silent. Okay, well, uh, nothing's working, so I'll just stay here. The
Oh no,
ones
I'm
who
not
are,
talking about those people. I'm talking about people that have made millions
oh,
and
staying
spoke
silent.
up
Oh, 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 oh,
can't
okay. Oh,
stand themselves and then they stay silent. And the ones that have made millions that go out and attack.
oh, okay. Well, that's easy. Well, the ones who made millions and they made their bank, well, they're going, I had a good run. I had a good run. I'm cool, you know. And some have had a good run. You know, it's a good profession. There's some people made it and did a good exit strategy. So why, you know, plus it could be some of their personality makeup. Why rock a boat? You know,
Right.
why rock an
You
industry
know,
that was very, why rock something that was very kind to me? Now, the people coming out, I think it could be also a way of trying to perhaps separate themselves from the madness and say, well, how dare they be that way when they were that way all along? So
and
it,
that's what I'm getting at, that they did it.
they did
And
it.
then they
Yeah.
come out and they want to scream about it. And I don't know whether it's psychologically that they want to do penance, because they're not talking about it from a constructive place. Like this conversation, I want it to be constructive. And who knows, maybe 12 people will see it, and that's enough for me. I'm fine with it.
Right.
But I want it to be a constructive conversation about how we go out and serve in this new decade, in this new time, in this new era,
Let me
quite
just add
frankly.
to that,
It
by
is
the
a new
way.
era. Mm-hmm.
I just want to add the point. It's also, you know what NLP is. I know you do, but basically, for your audience who don't know, NLP, it's a way of reframing something, or it's a way of they did the same thing all along, but it's a way of saying, "Oh, I didn't do it that way. How dare they do it? That's the wrong way they're doing it. I'm doing it. I didn't do it that way. How that's bad." Meanwhile,
Right.
so in other words,
I'm
it's
right.
a way.
I'm good.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
good.
a way of.
I think it's
It's a
like
way of.
I'm good. So
It's
basically what I see is, I'm sorry, we keep it's the
it's
zoning of the,
StreamYard does that.
it's the one person internalizes that, like, because they have to rationalize what they don't feel good about.
Right.
So they internalize it and they sit on a couch or get quiet for a while. And another person then goes out and they have to put it straight in their mind. So they go out and they speak almost maliciously. I mean, I'm seeing it over and over. There's a bunch of haters that just hate, and they run around and they tape calls and stuff. I don't know if you guys have seen this, but they run around and they tape stuff, and and then they expose it, and then they make funny faces while they're playing the recordings and stuff, and mock and all this other stuff. And then there's other people that literally come out and use old clips of themselves and make it out like they were forced to do something. I was forced to do this. Hey, honey, I hate to break it to you. Nobody forced you to do nothing. Okay. Nobody forced you to do nothing. So it really comes down to I've been preaching this for so long, golden rule marketing, do unto others as you'd have done unto you. That's the whole premise of all the marketing I've ever done. It's the whole premise of the way I build lists, the way I don't solicit, the way I ask people, hey, would you like to hear from me? And I teach other people how to do this. When you feel embarrassment or guilt about the way you conduct business or what you're doing, you obligate a collapse.
Yeah.
Okay. And we see people wipe out all the time. And I'm just saying it like it is. We see people wipe out all the time. And in fact, I wiped out for a little while, but that was due to personal, but it just all kind of bubbled up. And we see people wipe out all the time, or they disappear or so on. But what the collective consciousness of the space is bubbling right now. Okay, guys, it's an energy thing. And if we have as a space a guilt consciousness, a weirdness about it, and we're not comfortable Where'd we go? Am I back? Okay. If
You're
we're
back.
not comfortable with our own activity, if something doesn't feel right, I promise you there's another way to do it. I figured it out. I promise you there's another way to do it. It's called direct response. Okay. There's another way to do it. But if we don't feel good about it and we do it anyway, right? And we're all not feeling good about it, but we're doing it anyway. And then we move up and then we tell everybody else, I know you don't feel good about it, but do it anyway. Then what happens is a collective energy forms.
Yep.
And now you take that into an international crisis time in the world. You take that into huge distressed populations. And it used to be, we used to think about marketing in countries, that might be distressed. Well, now it's here. And we take that into a volatile political time. And that's fire. It's fire. It has to combust. It's like there's two sticks being rubbed together, and they're being rubbed together, and they're being rubbed together. Sooner or later, it's going to catch fire. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. And I think what we're facing now is not so much. I think the companies are figuring out you got to have real products and services. They're figuring out that you have to have legal pay plans. They're figuring out that you can't front load. They're figuring out the things, that we used to do. They were legal at the time, and you could do them. So fine. Like smoking used to be legal, Ray. A lot of things used to be legal. You come from a time where everything, there were no seatbelts. You just hold your kid and hope they didn't fly out the window. Yep. There was no rules about that. So there's, my mom smoked like a chimney when she was pregnant with me. Probably why I'm so weird, right? But it's not illegal now, but it's not advised, right? But we didn't know. We didn't know. And when we were talking to people out in the world and bringing them into a meeting, it was a different animal. Yeah. But bullying, the days of bullying are over. I scratch you off my list. You don't get to scratch me off your list. You know why? Because everybody turned blind. It's not unique anymore. You're not going to bully me into watching a video. I'm sorry, because I don't like to be disrespectful to the people that walk before me. But it's the time and the place for talking to people like that is over. And that person will say, I'm wrong. And maybe so. Maybe so. But I'm willing to lay down and throw down the glove. I'm willing to bet my 2 cents. Meet me in 10 years and let's talk about it. And I can go back and show you video after video from the past where I talked about what's coming. The backlash from the outside is going to be so violent if we keep walking down the road we're walking down. But the backlash on the inside is going to be worse. And we are going to watch giants of an industry fall. Because the fire is going to start, and just like in California, when it gets really burning, ain't nobody that can put that sucker out. Ain't nobody that can put that sucker out until it's done.
Yep.
We're playing with fire and bullying people, demeaning people, guilting people, making people feel less than. Environments like that, manipulative environments and people and leaders that are like that, everybody's on to you. And there's always going to be somebody that wants to bash us because there's somebody that wants to bash everything. Right? There's somebody that wants to bash anything. Go look around. Go search for something. You'll find people that bash earlobes. Earlobes are not necessary to the human race. We should all cut them off. There's somebody who doesn't like everything. You shouldn't eat meat. You shouldn't eat beans. You shouldn't, pick flowers. You shouldn't walk on the grass. You shouldn't whatever. But when people from inside the industry who have done the things that they care to speak of lash out like that to hurt everybody, shame on you. Shame on you. The only reason corruption, bullying, manipulation goes on is because too many of us have turned our cheek in order to make money. And it's time to stop. It's time to stop. This is a time of love and a time of kindness and a time of compassion and understanding that people are hurting. And we are moving into probably some of the most challenging times, certainly that our generations have faced. We have millions and millions and millions of people turning 65 not prepared. We have millions and millions of people that had no slush fund, nothing ready for when the rain came, when they got laid off or their hours got shortened or they lost their benefits. We have millions and millions and millions and millions of Americans about to be without medical insurance with children. We have millions of people that don't know what to do. And the last thing they need is some manipulative guy from some deal coming in and trying to bully them, manipulate them, scare them, confuse them, or scratch them off your list.
I don't think that was still used. I thought it was bad when it was years ago. It was like, that's amazing.
Especially when you know what you're doing. It's amazing.
Right? Exactly.
And if you don't have it in your heart to really go out and serve folks right now, and you're busy rubbing your hands together about how much money you're going to make. You're going to make money anyway. There's going to be zillions, it's not a real number, of people looking for options. We have them. How are we going to treat them? Are we going to cause them to love us or hate us? Or are we going to love ourselves when this is all said and done, or are we going to hate ourselves? And the question I have for everybody is, we've been sitting and saying we want to, we have something better and we want to redeem ourselves. We want to make this right. And we all need to be ethical. We all need to be this. And everybody beats their chests and does speeches about it. Well, now is your chance. Right now.
I'd like to share something with you. I just passed off to a client today. Very professional lady, realtor. And essentially, I put it this way. Well, the world responds to us back in kind. What we put out there, the world is going to come back to us and treat us the same way. That's law. Now, that guy, Mr. Scratch off the list, that might have worked 20 years ago. But today, the vibration of the planet has gone up. Consciousness has gone up, especially when the same 10 lines have been passed around. Today, you say, how are we going to treat people? You better start giving out some authentic love out there. I mean, coming from here, not up here. The world is going to treat you back in kind.
And not from your wallet.
And not from your wallet, from your heart. Not from your wallet. Perfect. It better come from your heart chakra. Otherwise, guess what? What worked that long ago, it's not going to work anymore. Just can't. Mentally, emotionally, psychically, spiritually, it's not going to work.
You mentioned somebody in real estate. The real estate market's about to go through a lot of trauma again, and there's a huge amount of opportunity. There's going to be in fact, I happen to be looking at the real estate market in your town today. And there's going to be a huge amount of opportunity. I mean, I forget what the numbers were. The number, I think it's like 1 in 4 people who are leasing in the city of Las Vegas are in for will be evicted once the eviction protection is over, unless they recover, which means they'll have to pay months and months and months. In New York City, occupancy rates are at their lowest that they've been in years. There's a mass exodus in California and in New York. So there's going to be opportunity in real estate. And there's going to be sharks. There always are. There's also going to be other people that do things to help save families, to help transition. Like there's people who will liquidate a home for a family without them having to go through a foreclosure. And yeah, they lose money. It's the reality. But they don't have to go through foreclosure, and they don't have to have all their finances destroyed. And then they can turn around, clean up that house, and sell it to another family that's been saving, and this happens to be the perfect opportunity for them to buy. There's a consciousness, there's a heart, there's a decency, and then there's the flip side. The only problem is the internet has leveled the field. I used to do a training called the Google Paper Trail, and I talked about be careful what you put on the internet because it stays, and people can search and find stuff. People can find stuff from years back. They can, trust me. You used to do some little investigative work and different things. So, there's a lot to be found. And you did it before we had the resources that we have. People can find out who you are in minutes. People can find out who you are and what you're about in minutes. So the big question is, who do we want to be? And the big question is, are you ready to learn to market so that you can legitimately communicate with groups of people that are sincerely interested in what you have? Are you ready to not complicate things? Because there was a big run for a while, and I just sat and shook my head because everybody wanted to take basic home business owners and make them internet moguls, and that was insane, because it's a very simple process. But are we ready to learn to communicate a bit? Are we ready to learn to listen? Are we ready to learn to observe? Are we ready to learn to write a little bit? Are we ready to learn to speak a little bit? Are we ready to learn, what were the 3 terms you gave me that I wrote a post about? Authority, conviction, and emotion. Are we ready to use those? Ray gave those to me. Are you ready? We were having a conversation. He rambled them off, and I stole them, but he steals my stuff. It's okay. Authority, and you don't have to be, guys, you don't have to be an expert to speak with authority. You got to understand those are 2 different things. I came onto the scene. You know what I knew I was authority on? I was authority on feeding my kids. I was going to feed my kids. Okay, I was an authority on making sure my children were fed. I did that tonight. It was my daughter's first day of school. I got her we didn't cook. We got her some Indian food. Okay, 'cause she likes Indian food. She's vegan. But I was an authority on raising children because I was raising children. I was an authority on making money to make sure my kids had what they needed. I wasn't an authority on my program. I wasn't an authority on marketing. There was no real internet at the time. I wasn't an authority on any of it. I just knew that I was going to feed my kids, and I had found a vehicle to do it. I had conviction that what I had was a way to make sure my family was taken care of, and I had passion about it. Because who doesn't have passion about the people they love? So are you going to have those 3 things, and are you going to learn to communicate them in ways that attract people towards you so that you can offer them your products and services and opportunities? And you don't have to lay your head on the bed at night, on that pillow at night, and think, what did I do today? What did I do today? Who did I hurt today? Because that's what's happening, is these are manifestations of guilt happening in a time where we can't afford it. We can't afford to sit and hang our head at a time when people need us.
Yep.
Ladies and gentlemen, my name's Diane Hockman. This is my dear friend, confidant, analyst, whatever he is. I don't know. I call him something different every time. Ray Williams. And let's see what we can do about them hating us. We can't stop it, but we can help it. But most of all, let's make sure we don't hate ourselves. It's a new time. And change is upon us. I'm going to be the first one embracing it. We'll see you guys next time. Everybody, my site's dianehockman.com. If you are interested in learning some of these communication mechanisms, etc., I am actually going to do a course on writing letters coming up very shortly, beginning of next month. And if you want details on that, just opt in at my dianehockman.com. Emails will be coming out. I'll be back out talking about it. And I feel really strongly about this.
You sound
No more bullying. No more bullying. No more shame. No more manipulation. No more games. What we have is good enough. It really is. Somebody asked me today, what kind of pay plan would I want to be in if I was picking a pay plan? I said the pay plan where I'm selling something that I feel could really help people. Because they were busy talking about the most lucrative pay plan. I'm worried about helping the most people. And when you do, money follows.
Yeah.
And most importantly, when you feel good about yourself, money follows. And that's something that Ray can help you with. I will see you guys later. Thanks for tuning in. If you have any, I didn't look at the comments yet, but if you have any comments, questions, or if you need to reach me, you can reach me right here on Facebook, also on YouTube in my inbox, or at dianehockman.com. Good night.
That day.